This is how you can get film-like images on the Ricoh GR III. And the best part, you don't even have to spend time editing. I've been shooting film for over 7 years and I fell completely in love with the colors, the textures, and the vibe that film gives. And taking photos on your iPhone, that doesn't seem to generate the same look or the same vibe you get from films. So back then I used to shoot a whole lot of film, but several years ago film prices started going crazy. It went up so much, almost 2-3 times. So I found an alternative, which is the Ricoh GR III. To get the film look, we have to know first what film actually looks like and what are the characteristics of film. Technically, film photography doesn't have one look because there are so many different film stocks such as Fuji, Lomography, Kodak, and within each brand there are also different film stocks like Portra 400, Portra 160, or Kodak Ultramax. These differ even within their own film brand. For me, the film look is characterized by 3 things, which is strong, punchy colors. You get that nice pop of color from film, depending on the film stock, but I usually think of it as having nice colors. The second thing is also the images often come out quite contrasty, and that's what I like from film. You don't have to do any editing after getting the images because the lab has already processed it. The third characteristic I like about film photography is the soft highlights. When the image is processed, the highlights come out very soft and it looks like it blends in with the whole image, and this is one of the most difficult things to replicate with digital photos. So here are 3 tips to get your images from the Ricoh to come out like film. First is my settings on the Ricoh. These are settings like the white balance and the color temperature. I set my color temperature to 5600K, and this gives the best color outdoors. But if you go in indoors, you'll have to adjust the color temperature according to whatever light conditions there is indoors. As for the white balance, I set my colors to M2A3, and this gives a red and warm tones to the highlights. And I think this looks like film, giving the warm, the nostalgic look. Next is image control. I always shoot with positive film because that gives the most punchy colors, and I like the types of colors that I get from the film and recipe. I start off with this positive film recipe first by fine-tuning these adjustments. If the photos then come out weird or the skin tones don't look good, I switch to the default positive film. The second tip to get your photos looking like film images is exposure control. As I said before, highlights is incredibly important in film photography. So with the Ricoh GR III, I usually shoot with less exposure control. So I usually go with -0.3 exposure compensation or -0.7. And that makes the whole image slightly darker and it accentuates the highlights to give that better film look. Whenever you have sunlight in the image, this is quite important to do because this will retain your details in the highlights, allowing the camera to expose what's available in the highlights. The third and final tip of this video is good lighting. Everything falls apart when you don't have good lighting, right? If you have the most expensive, the best medium format camera in the world, large format, and then you shoot, you have dark skies, it's a cloudy day, you can't save your image even if you have the best camera in the world. So my advice would be to shoot when there's good lighting. Usually on days where there's not good lighting, I don't even bother because it just looks miserable, gray, and the photos come out quite dull, even with film, And obviously you can't change that. It's not the camera's fault when the lighting is not good. So to get good lighting, you need to have sunlight, and the best times to shoot is golden hour. So that's the hour between sunrise and sunset. Maybe within the first hour or 2 of sunrise, hour or 2 of sunset, that will give you the most soft look from the image, and yeah, that will make it look more like film. I'm gonna show you side-by-side images of photos taken on film and then taken on Ricoh GR III. That concludes the video. That last tip of the good lighting is extremely important. Without it, then all other factors don't even matter. No matter if you have good, film recipes installed on your Ricoh, if your subject looks great, your model looks great, but the lighting is poor, then obviously your images will come out looking dull. So that concludes the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.